Знаете, выходя на сцену,
Hello, I'm glad to see the familiar faces. Thanks much. We had so many presentations about how to be a CISO that I can actually turn away and then turn around and leave. But I have a set of tools in my toolbox that I think I can share. So if you are currently managing the cybersecurity or would want to be one, so okay, keep your hands who are interested in cybersecurity in general, and that's why they came. Okay, another 30. Let's remember that. And everybody else, I don't know what we do.
QR-код должен появиться на экране. По нему можно задавать вопросы, мы ответим как можно больше. Я постараюсь.
QR code should appear on the screen, and I'll do my best to walk you through the presentation and then spend more time on the questions. Just a sec.
Ага, вот, небольшая ретроспектива. 2022 год, журнал HR Director.
So, a small retrospective. HR Director magazine asks people, would you like to become a manager? And more than 50% would answer no, because people are afraid of taking the responsibility. In 2023, lack of specialists in cybersecurity is about 20,000. What do you think? What is the things like that? So H&N is the first and the biggest, the leader in Russia in the milk industry. We have more than 5,000 employees, and besides about 200 IT systems in the office segment. CISO is also responsible for the production, for the manufacturing. So, we have 12 factories, and definitely you've seen companies bigger, but yeah, it's a good argument. But if you want to change the culture, then more than 5,000 people would use the PC maybe once a month, and of course they bring the USB sticks. So, 12 factories, distributed infrastructure, very obsolete infrastructure, very obsolete applications, easily compromised, and you need to be able to, work with that. Alexei Lukatsky, when he was, starting up today, he said that there will not be a lot of technical details. I'm trying to focus on what are the soft skills that the CISO should have, and I am the supporter of that approach. Cybersecurity lead should have a big technical background, of course, but all that can be solved by understanding the cybersecurity risks and unacceptable events term, because those tools are very useful for you and for a company to invest correctly the resources of the company. Because on the one hand, you lack the resources, and on the other hand, you do need to achieve your goals. So in the interview of Pavel Durov to Tucker Carlson are those two chairs, and the risks are your way of sitting on both of them.
Два снизу — это осознанность и управление подрядчиками. Почему? Потому что осознанность ко мне, наверное,
consciousness and managing your vendors are two most important things. I'm developing my business. I have a number of typographies and printing services. And for me, it's very depressing when I spend some extra money So better to spend money wisely and be sure that every kopeck buys you some result that you can guarantee. And managing the vendors means that you will be happy in your relationships, and you will not fail the polygraph test. And I would like to say thank you to my ex-employees for putting me through this. Some interesting statistics. Now, names of agencies, you have it in below, and they talked to the CISOs of the unfriendly countries around us. And first of all, 46% of cybersecurity leads have less than 2 years of experience in cybersecurity. Strange, super strange. And I understood that because most of them, 40%, would call IT, not cybersecurity, as their area. So people were managing infrastructure, developers, chief engineers, that were trying to support the inside the company, the cybersecurity service level. And the most interesting number here is 41% in CISOs would not want to continue their development in cybersecurity. They would want to become a CIO, become CEO, or just start their own business. So how interesting is it to a future employer to hire someone who is not interested in self-development? What is CISO paid for? I started doing this actually 6 months after being hired. That's painful for me and unpleasant for me, but the reason for this is that because, of course, at first I was, writing my playbooks, improving the service quality. So now I spend more time in strategy, risks, and working in all those domains that are important for CISO and that differ him from engineer, DevOps, and other roles. What do we start with? Sprint, your first 100 days. This sprint has started for me a couple of days before I was invited to the job. I have access to headhunters, so I saw all the resumes and all the motions, so I had quite a clear understanding of what my goals are going to be, what I should be doing, and it's important to monitor those things, because the things that you do in your first days will form the attitude that might be, change later on, but it's better for this attitude to be fixed. Analysis. Define the capabilities you want. The menu that Sergey Demidov brings is mentioned multiple times. So it's a lot about the process, people competencies, your knowledge, not only your cybersecurity knowledge, everything that helps to boost the business efficiency, cost reduction, business metrics, everything that you will define later on. Planning. You need your budget, you need your stakeholder support. So it's hard to be presenting after 5 very good presentations. So, implementation stage, you need to prove your words, and some things would fly, some would not. And I will disagree with the previous. Yes, you can do your quick wins, but it depends on how well you are protecting them. So, for example, if the vendor relationships are not that good, maybe it's not a good idea to start with the tenders, the payments, and everything, because you won't have within 100 days the ability to show the results. So I understood that I want to sleep well, my managers want to sleep well. So I started to put my resources to those processes working well, guaranteeing some SLA, but in case of some critical event, my punishment would be smaller, because I have a playbook on how do we work with those issues. So, next slide will be about the efficiency. When you do stuff, don't forget to talk to people. Don't forget to explain to your stakeholders, your CIO, CTO, CFO maybe, CEO definitely. Talk about your achievements. Talk about where you are going. Set goals in front of you. It's super important to prove that the unacceptable events haven't happened, for example. IB strategy is your success, is your sales tool. I think CISO is the salesperson. When you are getting hired, you are being hired because your experience is great, but you are not given the resources and to achieve what you want, you need to show what you're going to bring to the table and explain why. It's same as you buying a car. You will compare to the competitors, create battle cards, create SLAs, so everything that the business likes. And I wanted to make a comparison here. I worked with banks for quite a while, and then I moved to manufacturing, and my picture of the world definitely changed. Because in the banking, everything should be covered, nothing should happen. And in manufacturing, the most important attitude is like, it's important that we don't stop operations for too long. And that's a very good business thinking. Because of course, you want to improve, you want to do better, but you don't want to overspend on something that is not critical for you. So comparing manufacturing and banking, as banks are becoming the IT companies, super dependent on their partners, their developers, we can delegate. And we said, brand protection is super important, and you don't often hear that, but actually brand protection is something that cybersecurity has very much to do about. A couple of things that I presented to my management, my board of directors. Unacceptable event for us is denial of service. So some things that our products are used to create would live for hours. Some products that we create would live for days. So RPO is essentially zero, especially for critical infrastructure. So when we researched the market, December to April, we had 6 successful attacks on FMCG companies with critical loss of access to the critical systems within 5 days. And their vendor, their purchasing side was down for 2 weeks or even more. So if we stop operations for 5 days, we lose 2 billion rubles. And an interesting fact, that it's 15 million in the live mail. So this connects your actions to the business goals and making you very understandable for the business. 160 incidents per day processed by my team, a huge number. Those live incidents, not the events that are monitored by SOC, but the incidents that we are managing, and to successful attacks. We understood that if they want to hack us, they will. Because I would say that there's no company that would say they're impossible to hack. The important thing is the cost of hacking you is higher than just the value that they can extract. So we decided to go cyber resilience. We have playbooks, we work with IT very closely, we can agree on things. And that's where we are developing cybersecurity efficiency. The math that I like so much, I showed this last year, the QR code with the whole presentation on YouTube. But if you are afraid of math, no problem. 80% can be analyzed by qualitative analysis, and that's how we worked in Rosbank. But then we decided to say ROI 1.25, not that much, not in the 10 plus as the business, meaning that we are on average ROI positive. Competency management, good table, so I was trying to make it readable for you. So what's the main reason? There are two biggest tools to digitize how good your team is and how good it is to work with, and to create the development plan for you and for your team. In my case, there's a process map, number of lines for the processes that we are planning to implement, to improve, current responsible, planned responsible person, and the labor cost management system would be helping us assess the cost and how we can manage, and also the skill metrics. The examples are all over the internet. So all the competencies that the person should have, hard soft contacts, any other skills and knowledge, you describe them and you score the team. Like you see Ivan still being junior, not being able to say what needs to be done. You can show and explain how you can work with it, because something works well, something doesn't, and probably you don't need enough, you don't have enough competencies, or you don't have the correct competencies. So this can be digitized, and if you'd like to see the full table, let me know. Internal documents. I do not like internal documents, managing ones, regulatory ones, but after joining the new company, I understood I cannot do without them, because trying to help people create a good, safe, secure product, you need some benchmarks, you need to refer to something. So, saying I just know how to do it doesn't work. You need to have a doc. You need something that is approved by other people or other companies, and it should be a working document. So it's not just PCI DSS standard if you want to manage the pay cards, so the credit cards. I paid a lot of attention to the vendor standards, and I found a simple document that I'm sharing with you. A couple of thoughts here. First of all, for the juniors, a very much working exam, find a mentor, because this person would give you the experience and guidance that is immensely valuable. But it's very important, of course, to make it useful. By becoming a young Padawan, you promise your heart and your hand to your mentor. And also, for the person, it's a positive thing because you chose him or her as a talented teacher. And the second thing, be humble. That's probably something that is a good final phrase of my presentation. Any questions?
Спасибо. Насколько сейчас актуальна проблема обезличивания персональных данных внутри тестовых средств в контексте планирования?
How hot is the issue of depersonalization of data, and how do you solve it currently? Well, for our company, this is not the most important thing. There's not that many personal data. Usually they're related to the employees or partner employees who are our staff people. So, or when people participate in some, promos, like merchandise, tests, products. So in the test environments, they are non-existent. But it's a useful thing to ensure that your management will not be audited or punished by the regulators for not protecting personal data. How important are the technical skills, like administering the AV or CM system? Well, frankly speaking, I worked with CM systems for exactly 0 times. So, but I was administering the stations and working a lot with cybersecurity infrastructure and database, and I was researching the best practices. So this gave me a very good understanding of how it should work and what to pay attention for, non-engineering wise. For more kind of tech-savvy companies, CISO should be probably coming from engineering practices and be very close to CTO. For other companies, CISO is more of a manager, an expert. And that's not a criticism.
Вопрос. Такие же компетенции должны быть в резюме у кандидата, чтобы мочь претендовать.
What competencies should the candidate have to be a manager?
Мне кажется, нет.
In the current reality.
Нету одного вида компаний.
Well, I don't think there's some specific type of company that is looking for some specific type of CISO. Everyone is unique. So, to me, the main criteria is your preparedness. If you're ready to accept responsibility, including the criminal responsibility, then and overwork, why not? Yeah, go ahead, by all means. So different CISOs are required by different companies. Second question, where can you find a mentor? I was lucky, it's my former boss. I do thank you, cannot thank him enough. I was looking for them when I was a student. So if you have at your workplace someone whom you think a really outstanding person, just pay for his lunch and ask, to talk about life. And many would say yes. Maybe they would say no, but that's not a big deal. How do I develop further? How do I create new goals, set new goals for myself? What's your plan? Good question. For some time, I was planning to, throw it all away and do business, but then I understood I do like cybersecurity, and even if sometimes it pays less, my plan is to do what I like, and it's cybersecurity. So I would like to do some wow things in my company, and then when and if I understand that it doesn't work for it, then I'll be looking into what else we have on the market and try the other roles, so cross domains. How do I set goals for myself not to burn out? Well, I don't see anything bad in burning out. Just in the middle of the day, I can take the kid for a walk and then return and work till midnight. I don't like psychologists and therapy. I don't use them, but I think that burnouts are okay. That's the world. If you like the job you do, you will resurrect yourself from the ashes. If the CISO asks the business what should be done, is it incompetence? Knowledge bases, calls, everything is okay. So, everybody is affected by ransomware. So I don't think your question would be perceived as something, as incompetence, because the business goals should be the goals for cybersecurity teams. So it's okay. How many engineers do you have? 2 people. Till the end of the year, we'll probably have 4. How many lines of cybersecurity? How many business lines of cybersecurity? Well, I have a great team, very talented team, and we are possessing pretty much everything. And probably because of that, we are getting more resources and keep growing and developing. You talked about the digitization of the team. So what are the main KPIs for you? So yeah, unacceptable events, my key KPI should be 0. Availability for the regional old infrastructure is the other one. And I'm thinking about having some financial KPIs, because every manager would confirm that if the company does not perform well, they would cut the budgets. So by including the financial goals of the company in your KPIs, you would align with management. How do you prove that? If you don't have statistics and history, how do you prove that you work well? Well, if I don't have statistics, my first goal is to just build this statistical body. Yeah. Look around you. What's happening on the market? You will be able to get the financial data. Looking at the revenue and other public numbers. So please compare the companies you are talking about to the ones that have similar consequences. Oil mining and banks should not be compared. The business will not understand you if you are trying to bring them examples from the banking industry, for example. The most well-known thing, like Vedomosti said that, dear media, we will restore everything. Very respected media said that they will restore everything within 5 days. So for us, that would be unacceptable. I'm out of time. Thanks, dear friends.